Hey guys, in this video I will show you how to play Gekko on Ascent, and we'll start right here on A side when you are attacking with post plant lineup landing in front of the generator. So you wanna get into the corner right here, and then you will place your hardline, the tip of it, right here under this thing right there. So it should look like this. I will zoom on it now for you, as you can see, and you simply throw it. It is gonna land directly on the spike and covering all this area around the generator. Second lineup for this position would be from vines, and you just want to get into the corner right here and place your hardline like this. As you can see, this tip under this little thing on the wall. So very simply, it's pretty easy to remember. You just place it there and you throw there your Moshpit. And as you can see, it lands once again directly on the spike. If you planted spike right here, you can do this lineup once again from this corner, and very simply you are just aiming at the tip of the most right one spear. You just simply throw it there, and once again it's gonna land perfectly on the spike. With your Moshpit you can also clear corners, and this is a pretty common spot for enemies to be in, so we can clear it with this lineup. Once again, stand in the corner right here and place your crosshair on the tip of this antenna, on the second tip of it, just right there, and you throw it. And as you can see, it goes over the wall and it's gonna cover this whole area, so that way anyone anywhere near this cannot be standing there. There is one more lineup that you can use for this spot. However, it's not gonna clear all this side, but it would clear all of this dice. So it depending on the situation, it can be better. However, I think it is a bit more difficult to do. As you can see, you'll be using this little block right here, and you will be placing the line between your next to your Moshpit. As you can see, I will zoom on it now, and you will just place there the left tip of it. It's a bit hard to line up to remember, but if you will do this correctly, which is super easy to line up, it will land always like this, and that way it would cover anyone in these spots. Super easy to do, and I think this is one of the best lineups on A side. Another spot which is hard to clear is this one. So for this one, there's a quite simple lineup. You just want to go into the corner right here and place your crosshair into the cloud where you can see there's this little angle. That little corner, you just place your crosshair there and you throw it. You throw it at the highest point of your jump. So it would look like this. And as you can see, it's gonna land perfectly behind the dices, covering all this area. And lastly, what we have left is this generator area. You can use this either for a post plant, or if you wanna just clear it when you are entering the site. So what you wanna do, once again, stand in the same corner as you did before, and this time you are aiming at the tip of the highest one, right there. And simply just place your cursor there and throw it. And as you can see, it's gonna land like this on the spike, and you go all the way here in the back and get anyone behind the gen as well. You can use your Moshpit for post plant on B side as well. All you wanna do is stand in this corner right here and place your crosshair on top of this spike right here, the higher one. So you just place it there and you throw it. And as you can see, it's gonna land. And as you can see, it's gonna land perfectly on the spike. If you are entering site, there are pretty much 3 molotovs that can be helpful. One of them is very simple, this one. Just stand under the window and place your crosshair right here and throw it. It's gonna bounce up and land in this line, so that way usually anyone who might be standing here will have to back off. Next one is very simple. You just want to clear this corner, simply throw it there, and as you can see, it goes through the corner, so that way you don't have to even peek it. You can just throw it like this, and you would still get anyone who'd be all the way in the back. You can also do this lineup. You just want to stand close to this wall and see this line, and you want to make sure that no one can see you from here, so you just want to peek it like this. Place your crosshair on the top all the way there, run forward and throw it. So it would look like this, and it's gonna land close to the stairs. That way anyone who'd be trying to go out of spawn or even peek you from stairs would have a hard time, since there would be molly right in this corner. When defending, you can try to use your Moshpit with, for example, fate tether, so that way if you can always do something like this. Or you can use this lineup if you know that the enemies are in main and someone might be taking ARPs. Just go into the corner right here and place your crosshair on this leaf right there, place it on the tip of it and throw it. and as you can see, it's gonna land directly on the ARP, and it would go all the way into the corner, so that way if you use it for example with Astra Sack or even the tether, the enemies would always die right here instantly. If you are retaking A, you can try to nade in the generator with this lineup. Simply go into the corner on this line right here in heaven, right there, and place your crosshair on this spot where it hits under this tip of the cannon right there, and throw it there. Super easy to do, and as you can see, it's gonna land right here in the backside, and it would cover this whole area. Lastly, I will show you how you can deny the plant right here in front of the generator. Go on the stairs and stand at this fence post right there. Place your crosshair a little bit above this gap on these two roof tiles, just right there, and throw it. And as you can see, it's gonna go all the way here and land perfectly on the spike. On the middle, you can do this lineup. Simply at the beginning of the round, place your crosshair in this window right in the middle, run forward and throw it. You just want to do it as soon as the barrier drops down, and as you can see, it covers pretty much the whole area here. And lastly, on B side, you can always use it with tether or through this window right here. Just pretty much the same. If you, for example, here enemies taking the ARP, you want to angle it and bounce it off like that, so that way it would hit anyone right here. Super easy to do. Let's move on to your Wingman. I would recommend you using him when you have spike, and you can create a path with smokes, so that way he will go plant. As you can see, you can from main, you can plant pretty much anywhere on site. As you can see, if you are aiming correctly, you can even plant all the way here in the back, which I think is a pretty good spot. But very simply, if you plant for example right here and you smoke off the left side, usually the plant should work out for you, since as you can see, it would be hard for the enemies to stop them if you help him with your flashes or other util. With your Wingman on me, it is much more difficult. However, you can still send him to go to plant if you are in the line. For example, like this, you can make sure that he plants all the way in the corner, and you can go just simply save your time and play anywhere in main, hold the spawn or anything, and you can just send him there, or you can send him all the way to stairs, so that way it is another good spot where you can hold the spike as well. Of course, you can always use him as a boombot, for example like this, so that way he will clear the right side right there, to check if there's anyone standing. You can always send him to maybe close to the left to check if there's anyone standing as well, so that should work fine for you too. One of the ways that I would maybe even recommend is simply using your Wingman to clear the vines if you are unsure if there's anyone, since you can always go there and take your Wingman back. And of course, the same thing would always work for B main as well. Simply sending out your Wingman maybe like this, so that way he would check if there's anyone in these corners. Then you can maybe even retake the ARP, and if you want to enter the site, you can always send him maybe to the lane, or even just simply into that corner. Or if you want to make sure that there's no one on stairs, you can also send him there as well, depending on what you like. So very simply bouncing it off the wall and getting the info for your team. On defense, I would recommend keeping him, maybe for the post plant, or if you are sure that there is someone, so that way you can stun them, or if you want to be playing aggressive, you can always do this at the beginning of the round and push with him, since he will get you the info if there's anyone standing in front of it, and you can always take him back. So moving on to flashes. When attacking, very simply, just use your flash like this, that way you will always gain it back, and you will flash anyone on this spot. Then if you are pushing, there's plenty of ways. You can for example flash like this, so that way anyone on side will get blinded, and you can later on retake it as well. So that's one of the possibility, or you can very simply just throw it like this and bounce it off the wall, and it might blind anyone in these corners. One of the best flashes, and simply use it like this on A side. If you were to go top net, you can for example do something like this. Simply throw it high up, so that way even it will flash anyone in these areas, and once again you can retake it in a decently safe spot. Going on short, once again throw him off and bounce him, and once again you can retake him. However, if you can always throw it for example like this, so that way he doesn't go that far, and this spot would be safer to pick it up. But then also later on you can just very simply throw it like this and peek with him. Super easy to do, and you can still be taking him back and gaining the info if there's anyone. If you were to commit from tiles, I would recommend either flash like this. You just want to stand anywhere in this area, aim directly above yourself, and as you can see it will go very high up. It will land on the same spot as you threw it, and as you can see it would blind anyone in these spots. Even better flash would be from this corner, but it is a bit riskier to get right there, and as you can see you can throw it just like that, and it's gonna still fall on the same spot, and as you can see it will blind anyone in these spots. Moving on to B, you can always use your flash like this, so that way you will blind anyone who would be in these corners at the beginning of the round, and you can gain the control of B main, and then when pushing you can just simply throw it through the window, and as you can see it once again lands in a decently safe spot where you are able to capture it if your team pushed with it. Or you can very simply once again simply throw it like this and bounce it off. Once again lands in pretty much the same spot. Defending and using your flash to gain info is a bit more difficult, but it is very doable, and I will show you how. So for example, you can jump on top of the generator at the beginning of the round, and when the round starts you wanna just aim above yourself, jump and throw your flash just like that. And as you can see he would go all this way up, and he can spot anyone and blind anyone in this A main, and as you can see this flash is still very pickable and you can get it back. So there's plenty of options. You can do this even if the enemies are on site. You can just throw it, it might blind them, you take it back, and you might wait for your teammates to come to you, since you would be once again gaining some time for them, since you would be might be delaying the post plant or anything. So just simply aim directly above yourself and use it in your advantage, since you can always pick it up. Another example of this flash would be right here in market. You can position yourself so that way you are aiming directly above yourself and you are in the middle of that frame. Just throw it like that, and as you can see it's gonna fall back on you, and I will show you what it might flash. So it would usually go all this way high up and it would flash anyone on the mid. Super easy to do, and once again gains you the info pretty much freely, and you can use it again in 10 seconds. So on B, one of the flashes that is possible to do here is very simple. Stand right here in front of this window, place your crosshair directly above you once again and throw it. And as you can see, this flash would go all the way here, all the way up here, and would blind anyone in B main, once again getting you the info if there's anyone. Of course you can do this on stairs as well, just like this. Once again, as you can see it goes high up, getting info if there's anyone, maybe even further in back in B main, or anyone in the main directly. Moving on to your ult, one of the tips that I would give you is that you can always, for example, you can use your ult right here at the beginning of the round, go in, and if you don't spot anyone you can always come back, so that way you can take the orb as well. Once again, so if you don't see anyone, you don't spot anyone, for example you go on A, you don't see anyone in these corners or anyone in main, you can always run back, and so that way it would not be so far from you. However, have in mind that your ultimate has only 2 uses. So as you can see I used it on my second attempt right here, and it didn't appear, so there are only 2 possibilities of to use it if you didn't stun anyone. And of course you can do this either when you are attacking or defending. So for example like this, you can clear the left, right, you can give the info to your teammates. If you don't spot anyone you might even go back, so that way you won't have to go all the way on spawn, and then you would be able to pick the orb from your thresher again. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this video is gonna be helpful for you. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and see you guys soon. Bye.